Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Thursday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we all know that the Los Angeles Lakers were in action on yesterday in the friendly confines of the Crypto.com arena to take on none other than their neighbors to the north and fellow Western Conference rival, the Sacramento Kings. And we said on yesterday's show that this was an important game for the Lakers going in, because if they can win yesterday and win at Sacramento next week, they can essentially gain 2.5 games in the standings. Well, really 4 if you look at it on the win and loss side. Going into the game, both the Lakers and Sacramento had the same number of wins, although the Lakers had 3 more losses, but now they have 4 more, which is not a good thing. But at the end of the day, let's hop into how this game played out. When the game first started, we were all excited. Anybody who was watching the game could see that the Lakers were doing their thing. They jumped out with a quick 10-point lead. Then it was a 12-point lead, and they got the lead all the way up to 20 points in the first quarter. And then all of a sudden, AD, I think, gets his second foul in the first quarter. AD goes to the bench. And of course, we all know that Lakers defense is a lot different when you insert Jackson Hayes versus AD. No knock to Jackson Hayes, but we know that AD is a all-world defender. And once he went to the bench, Sacramento started to gain a little bit of momentum. And then by the end of the first quarter, they went on like a 10-0 run, including a buzzer beater from De'Aaron Fox that I believe cut that 20-point lead down to 10 going into the second quarter. And I said, uh-oh. Now it's down to 10. I said the Lakers cannot afford to slip. But one thing I do want to take away from that game is I think the Lakers got a little bit too excited with the lead that they had. They took their foot off the gas, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Sacramento, but you can see the many celebrations that the Lakers were having, like, and I don't mean many as in a lot, I mean many as in small, but the celebrations that they were having as they were going up by that lead, the bouncing in the step, the mugging, the whatever they were doing. Of course, they're excited. They know they need this game, and now they're up. They feel like they're taking care of business, but it's kind of like when I'm playing 2K and somebody say something to me and I might have been losing by 15. Now you paused it on me or something like that, and now all of a sudden I have to show you wake up the old monster and be new, and now I got to go on a 20-0 run. And that's what they did. I think they pissed the Sacramento Kings off. And one thing that I will say about Mike Brown, he knew when to call a timely timeout, because he instilled something in them and told them, listen, let's not get away from the game plan. We're going to continue to do what we do and make adjustments until we figure out what we were doing. And they've actually found success in doing so. And of course, AD being in that foul trouble, the Kings went to work, and all of a sudden the Lakers defense seemed like it went out of the window. And if you look at their second quarter, because ultimately we know the Lakers lost 130 to 120. It was just crazy how they allowed to go from a 20-point lead to being down by 20 points, which is a 40-point swing. And if you look at it in that second quarter, they were outscored 44 to 20. And there's no excuse whatsoever for that to be the case, because that means you're not getting stops and you are not scoring either. And I don't try to place a whole lot of blame, but I will tell you like this: on yesterday, if you just really had to look at it, and I'm going to bring up AD's play here in just a moment too. But yesterday was just the Sacramento Kings backcourt thoroughly outshining the Lakers backcourt, because the Aaron Fox and, of course, Malik Monk, who isn't even a starter, basically had their way yesterday against Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell. Austin Reeves could do nothing with De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox a lot of times would just take off and go coast to coast throughout the game, where they didn't even have to come down and get set into their offense. He was just keeping Austin Reeves on the back of his heels, making silly fouls, getting and ones. And once he got into his rhythm, it was pretty much hard to stop. On yesterday's show, I compared De'Aaron Fox to that of SGA, and I think highly of SGA, and I think highly of De'Aaron Fox. It goes to show you the talent and where these players are in this league. For these players to be on some teams like a Sacramento and an Oklahoma City that are not big heavily marketed teams, but for them to shine the way they are shining is just crazy to me. Like SGA is a hell of a talent, and De'Aaron Fox showed you yesterday what he can do. I said his game reminds me a lot of MJ as far as his footwork, his fadeaway, his ability to score in the paint. Because if you think about it, the majority of his points were in the paint, and of course, De'Aaron Fox finished the game, man, with a Wendy's 4-for-4 special. You understand me? 44 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists for De'Aaron Fox. And what's crazy is that was his career high. And seeing how that was his career high, he could have easily got 46. He was in the game in the last couple of minutes. You thought he was going to go for it. But the Lakers, of course, were letting the time run out. So with them letting the time run out and taking a turnover, he felt like, well, I'm not going to go down here and get my points. If I was him, I would have said, to hell with it. I'm going down here to get my 2 points and get me a new career high of 46. Man, he's trying to drop a 50 ball one day. You never know. He might not even get to those points. But that lets you know something as far as the Lakers defense is concerned. And I'm not taking anything away from De'Aaron Fox. But if a player can come and get his career high against you, and yeah, I said against, because, when it's a whooping like that, then you got to switch it up, But anyway, I'm just playing. But at the end of the day, De'Aaron Fox did his thing. Malik Monk came in and got so hot, and that's really when the run came in. Malik Monk, and one thing about Malik Monk is I loved him when he played for the Lakers the other year. That's the type of player that the Lakers needed. He was really the only consistent three-point shooter that the Lakers been able to get, because no matter what, whoever the Lakers get, they're not consistent from three. And LeBron James needs to be surrounded by three-point shooters because he can ultimately get them wide open looks. But for some reason, when they get these players, Malik Beasley or whoever, they forget how to shoot threes for whatever reason. But anyway, Malik Monk probably would have stayed with the Lakers. Not like he took a lot of extra money to go to Sacramento, but of course his former teammate and De'Aaron Fox, his fellow Kentucky Wildcat, lured him there because they knew what they can do. They knew they would have fun together. They knew they had that chemistry together, and he still stayed on the West Coast. Albeit Sacramento, he still stayed on the West Coast. So can you blame Malik Monk for going to Sacramento? Wish he would have stayed a Laker. And probably when he plays against the Lakers, he looks at the Lakers and says, Austin Reeves, come here. I'm the one who should be running this Lakers team. Come here, let me show you something. De'Aaron Fox does the same thing, because I don't know if many of you know this, but of course the Lakers passed on De'Aaron Fox in the draft and picked Lonzo Ball over him. So he probably think, y'all picked the point guard. Well, look at him and look at me. Kind of like that 2 Chainz song from back in the day. Look at them and look at us. But anyway, we're not going to get into all that. But back to what I was saying. LeBron James, man, even though he exited the game a few minutes early, right when they were trying to get that comeback, it was crazy because in the third quarter, LeBron was going ham. And you're like, okay, they cut it down from 22 to like 10. And now LeBron looked over at AD and said, don't worry, baby. I know you picked up that 4th foul early in the third quarter and you had to go to the bench, but I carried this load to get us close. Now you just come into the 4th quarter and we're going to ride the wave all the way home. But it was just not to be, even though LeBron James finished the game with 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 13 assists. Counted 13 assists, getting his teammates involved at age 39. 10 out of 16, 63%, only 1 out of 4 from 3. But at the end of the day, LeBron James, 31 points. Then Hachimura, 29 points, 2 rebounds, no assists for Hachimura, 13 out of 17, 77%, 3 out of 5 from 3. That's great for Hachimura. And it seems as though the Lakers can get a good player going like Hachimura. Then D'Lo and Austin Reeves have a bad game. Then you get a Austin Reeves or a D'Lo having a good game. Then Hachimura has a bad game. So Lakers need to put together a complete game. I hate the fact that it feels like they're becoming too lackadaisical, just thinking, oh, we'll get this play in. Look what we did last year. The last thing they want to do is finish ranked number 10, because Utah probably won't get them. They need to move up to at least the 6th or the 7th. I say the 6th to be safe, but the 7th would be even better, because then you only have to win 1 game. Because if you play number 10, if you lose once, you're out. And as of right now, you would have to go on the road to Golden State, which is not the easiest thing for you to do. You know you've beaten them before this season. The last game, Golden State dominated, but that was without LeBron James, so that was a different story. We know the time before that, the Lakers took care of business, but that's not a position you want to see yourself in, and the Lakers don't need to keep hitting the on and off button. They should have had a better game plan. And speaking of game plan, AD, let's talk about AD for a minute. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 out of 13, 40%. Terrible game from AD. And you got to think about it. 14 points. Meanwhile, you let Sabonis 16 points, 20 rebounds, AD. 20 rebounds, AD. You have to be able to get boards when you're going against Sabonis. And I know whether you were blitzing or whether you're playing drop coverage, switch coverage, or whatever, but, the game plan Darvin Ham said was to get De'Aaron Fox going to his right and Malik Monk going to his left. That did not happen. And, of course, here is a troublesome quote from AD after the game. Not necessarily saying it's a direct shot at Darvin Ham, but, it's almost like a finger-pointing thing. So, and I took this quote directly from the presser. He said, "It was a game that we needed. We came out with all energy on both ends of the floor, and then the second quarter dictated the game. Some of the things that we were in defensively allowed De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk to get whatever they wanted and to live in the paint. If I go help, Sabonis is wide open." So they did a good job at manipulating what we were doing. So that means that was coaching by Brown and bad coaching by Ham. And Ham didn't make the necessary adjustments. You would think in the third quarter they would come out and do so. But, of course, AD comes out. He gets his fourth foul. Another mistake by Ham is there was barely a foul on AD. He's behind him with his arms back like this. And, of course, they don't get that call. They get that call. And instead of him challenging, which they could have easily won because there was no contact, the minimum contact. I mean, you just got to challenge that, but you didn't. And then AD ended up with his fourth foul. And then you had LeBron James doing all the heavy lifting. Another bad decision during that stretch is when AD went to the bench with that fourth foul, you didn't even bring Jackson Hayes. You elected to have LeBron playing center, knowing that he's already carrying a heavy load on offense. Now you expect him to go out here and get boards versus Sabonis. That was not going to happen. So it took 2 or 3 minutes of going down even more for Darvin Ham to finally realize, well, let me get Jackson Hayes back in there. And then the Lakers did make a run. They cut it down to 10 or 12 twice. They shoot back up to 20. They shoot it back down to 12. They shot it down to 10 or 12 at the end of the third quarter. Ultimately, it wasn't good enough. AD still came in, didn't do much in the fourth quarter. Austin Reeves had a terrible game as well. 6 out of 15, 40%, 18 points. But 2 of those threes was garbage time. One of them was a lucky long bank three that he threw up with time running out with like 3 or 4 minutes left when the game was already out of hand. So you take away those 2 threes, you're looking at Austin Reeves shooting 4 out of 13 and really just only having 12 points. So, it is what it is. He might have finished with 18, but he didn't play like he had 18. D'Lo, horrible as well. The Sacramento backcourt really got into it. D'Lo only 10 points, 1 rebound, only 3 assists, 3 out of 10, only 2 out of 6 from 3. So D'Lo going to have to play a lot better. And one thing, and I did mention this yesterday when I was talking about Max Christie and Cam Reddish. I saw that Darvin Ham elected to go with Max Christie. I'm not necessarily mad at that decision because I think Max Christie is a lot better shooter than Cam Reddish. His defense is just as good anyway. It's not like Cam Reddish is a lockdown defender. But my point is, you bring in Max Christie, and let's see how many minutes did Max Christie have. Max Christie only had 10 minutes. So then Cam Reddish had 0 minutes. He wasn't injured, but he just got the DNP. For what reason? You've been playing him, and you didn't try to throw maybe Max Christie or Cam Reddish to try to slow down De'Aaron Fox and try to slow down Malik Monk. I don't understand what Darvin Ham is thinking there because look at the adjustment Mike Brown made. Harrison Barnes only had 15 minutes. Trey Lyles 30 minutes because he saw Trey Lyles had it going. Plus 14, 3 out of 5 for Trey Lyles, and then everybody was contributing. And if you look at it as a total, the Kings only had 12 out of 31 from 3. The Lakers had 15 out of 32 from 3. They shot a better percentage, 47% from 3. They hit 3 more threes. But where the game was won and lost was in the paint. The Kings simply manipulated. De'Aaron Fox manipulated what he wanted to do. Got to the paint time in and time out. Anthony Davis didn't play big enough. No way Anthony Davis should only have 14 points. You going against Sabonis, you are bigger and stronger than he is. Sabonis is just very smart like his pops was. His pops was a lot bigger. Arvidas versus Demonis, but whatever. I can't pronounce his name. But at the end of the day, I said it on yesterday's preview, that last game that Sabonis out-dueled AD, and here he is doing it yet again. And they said in the telecast last night, I did not know this, but he actually leads the league in triple-doubles. He has more than Luka, and he has more than Jokic. And as of last night, instead of 23, he has 24 to Luka's 21, and Jokic's 17. So that lets you know Arvidas does this thing. He goes about his business, quiet as kept, but he has great court vision. And at the last minute, the little dump-off passes for easy assists, whether it's to a guard or whoever, he has a good court vision, and he just has a nose for the ball when it comes to being around the rim and getting rebounds, as he proved yesterday by getting those 20 rebounds. So up next for the Lakers, it doesn't get any easier. Just going against the Bucks. You would hope that the Bucks would have took out Golden State, but that was not the case. So now, of course, the Bucks are going to be licking their chops to rebound against the Lakers. We'll see how that game goes. It's going to be big. LeBron James did say on yesterday that he was fine after the game with the injury, so we'll see how that plays out against the Milwaukee Bucks. Anthony Davis is going to have a good monster game. It's unfortunate the Lakers are without Christian Wood right now. I think he could be useful in that matchup against Brook Lopez, but we'll see how it all plays out. I like the way Jackson Hayes has been playing aggressively. And another thing was that one challenge that they got overturned when the Lakers could have cut it down to 9 and they were on that roll. Was going to be an and one play, but they called an offensive foul on Jackson Hayes. Even though Malik Monk was going straight up, he was in a restricted area, but they said he led with the knee. But that's how you jump off 1 foot. So that's a conversation for another day. But anyway, if you haven't done so already, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe. And as always, this is your boy B New. I'm saying right on to the real, and much love to these haters. I'm out.